if I'm feeling great and Mike isn't having a good day, then I will notice that and not have a good time myself generally, or be frustrated, because it's so much about communication. Everybody has to be for it to be really.
It's a challenge to like not bring your, if you're having a bad day. It's like I guess any professional has to deal with. If you're not having a good day, like not the effort of not bringing your shit to work, trying to. That's I think being a musician is really a great job for that too. I mean, because it's like so clearly that whatever's happening in your personal life, if you go on stage, it's just you have to just kind of forget about it. You have to get it out of the way, and it's part of what. I mean, I think that's good. It's a good process. I mean, I think a whole gig, and improvising music is kind of more about the process than the end result, and like where you're making an album. Although process is important, you're focusing much more on the end result. You're focusing on like the finished product. What's this ultimately going to be? Whereas with a gig, the whole point is, all these personal things, like how can we go out and get out of the way of our good or bad days, and and how can we open up to the audience and to each other and communicate and get conversation going and create an environment where something magical or interesting musically can happen. We have an audience that comes sort of willing to give us that patience and the energy to let that develop. It's like almost like they're coming and saying, okay, we understand, everyone in this room has different kinds of I mean, I'm putting words to it, but it's just kind of like we're willing to like give this the room and, our attention and focus and energy, to give this the room to happen. So like go ahead. Have your, see what you have your conversation. Kind of that's like sort of how it feels. And then when we actually do get a really good conversation going, it's sort of like, it feels to me like the whole thing becomes almost more directly open to the audience then, too. Like, you get to that level, and then it's like, yeah, here we are, then, and then it's sort of like you can look at the audience and be like, it's almost like, thanks,
Collectively
and to them it's like,
it's at that point together collectively is like this really affirming moment.
It's like the payoff, it was like,
starts from a really simple thing that we always come back to. If I can't understand what you're saying musically, then how are they going to understand it? Because I'm a musician and I know you really well. So if you're playing a riff that's really fast and complicated, and look at me, I'm so good, and I'm up there playing and I can't even really grab onto what you're doing, And generally, when we do get hooked up, it's simple. It's on some very simple level, and the levels vary. Sometimes it's all of us going, and sometimes it's boom, dee boom, 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 dee boom. But we're hearing each other and listening, and we just kind of see that as I do as the first hurdle to get over, and then they're going to understand too. You know what I mean?
I think we just discovered over time that we can have a lot of fun jamming and that sort of taking risks and seeing where the music can go can be a lot more fun than just standing on stage and
playing what they heard on the album,
or even that, or even just being cool, like feeling cool looking, or hey, I'm in a band and I'm a rock star, and all this stuff. Yeah. That a lot of bands probably that's their favorite thing to feel, or not a lot, but definitely some pop musicians, would seem to have that.
Feeding
and
the ego.
Some others, like us,
frenzy.
I think we've just discovered ways that for us we can have more fun, and that involves more of the letting loose and seeing where it can go.